going straight up. You can see nothing but white and streaks of red. The sweat pouring from his scalp, and I'm just trying to keep my arm as straight as possible while the rest of my body is trembling and acting.
Doc then walks over and begins the process of attaching this augmentic arm to what's left of his arm. And what did you need me to roll?
It is a nothing flat Medicaid actually.
Okay. Okay. Success
To
with 10
attach
degrees.
prosthetics. Transcendent. Samuel, you will need to roll a toughness. Because it's gonna suck.
Success with 2 surprise.
Yes.
Yes, no insanity for you. You managed to push through the pain, especially at the coupling, as Doc just gives you a sudden look, as there's a latch to where the wrist of the implant would, not wrist, to the elbow of the implant would meet the rest of your arm. As soon as he closes the latch, you feel your entire nervous system burning.
As this happens, the item put into my mouth, I continue screaming, but it unhinges. I unhinge my jaw, and it falls out of my mouth. I take a deep breath and I scream again.
And without even knowing or fully expecting it, your arm that is now attached, you can feel it as if it was always there. You feel the stale air, humidity. You feel as if it's still alive, as if it's still your own arm from before, but just a tad bit colder.
You see Doc look back towards Stefan and say, I think this is my best living person attachment I've ever done. As he just looks down and marvels at what he has just accomplished.
Taking some more deep breaths, I instinctually wipe the sweat from my hand using my newly attached arm, and I don't expect it, but the shock of cold touches my brow, and I reel back before realizing what I had done. And still, I'll go ahead and wipe the sweat from my brow. Good work. Marvelous, in fact. When will the pain from the elbow on go away? Is it supposed to be like that?
Yeah,
Well,
it is just the machine spirit organizing its sensors with your nervous system. Just a few more seconds.
you probably should ask Ripsaw when you see him next. I think he would have a better answer for you, but from what I've seen, it could take some people a week. Some they take years. I don't know exactly why. Maybe Ripsaw could explain.
A permanent reminder of what I had lost. I don't regret it, but I could be more careful in the future.
You do that.
All right, I guess I'm gonna go attach Constantinius's augmented leg back. You know, I'd really like it if Ripsaw was here to really do this, but
Yeah, I'll go ahead and dismount from the what is it, an operating table, or is it just like a flat surface?
that was
But in
operating
any
table.
case, okay, I'm gonna dismount from the operating table and go back into my quarters, see how I feel about this exactly.
Then
I throw up a mechanical arm, to say goodbye.
It's as
Doc
if
just
it's
nods.
already part of him.
Yeah, Doc just nods his head. All right. He walks over to Constantinus's table, little operating table that he's on, pulls back the curtain.
Wait, didn't I already get up and leave?
Wait, we already attached it?
Yeah, you already did.
That was done a while ago.
It was just the repair. Ripsaw did the repair.
Doc pulls back the drape and is like, oh, Constantinus already left?
I did a few moments ago before somewhere in between you flatlining and waking up.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well,
I'm going to hold on. You're going to see Constantinus walk back into the room. Once again, equipped in his standard full knightly plate.
Thank you for fixing my leg. I appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. I was glad I was able to help. And next time you should use some cover when maybe charging the enemy.
Didn't expect that heavy of firepower. But a question, where did you get power armor like that?
Doc just shoots a glance back at Stefan.
One says nothing.
Yeah,
Why are you in the market for something similar?
Precisely, and I could probably see if my house could lend you something of interest.
Oh, dear Constantinus, have I not provided your house enough? Saying jokingly.
I got word from one of my brothers. We received an extra armature but lack a pilot. It will be put in storage unless needed elsewhere.
It would be a shame for an armiger to fall into storage. Not seeing glory, would it?
Yeah, that's gonna be about 200 hours of training before I let you actually use it. Standard protocol.
I wouldn't trust myself in any of these constructs. It's basically a death trap, if you ask me. But fear not, I'll see what I can provide.
Constantinus is going to visibly recoil at that statement.
Death trap! Armigers are phenomenal scouts and are excellent at absorbing enemy fire. They can take 2 rockets before dying. 2.
That's one more than you did.
Touche. Touche.
However, it's not that I don't trust the machine, I don't trust the pilot. I.e., me, if you ever put me into that. And
yeah, I don't think we would have anyone that would have the time to learn that.
That's a fair point.
but if we find another pilot, and if your house doesn't need it, the Inquisition's inventory is always open.
Yes, but the hope is to be able to get the knight back. If it goes into the Inquisition, they aren't getting it back.
Yes, isn't it? Well, that's up to you to deal. I'll try to see what friends I can ask for assistance in regards to your defensive capabilities, personal defense capabilities.
Yes.
And Duskin will come on the Vox at this stage and say, well, I suppose I could give it a shot.
Sure, you can also.
That is, well, whilst
Do
looking
you
at
have
Sir
any
Gabriel,
honorary military titles? Or, better put, awards?
sorry, the Vox broke up there a wee touch.
Do you have any titles, awards, anything that makes you distinguished?
None that are publicly known.
I'm a battle master. As you see Doc raise a hand.
Oh, of course you are, Doc. You're also dead 3 times over.
Yeah,
Come
but
on, it's only a night. How hard can it be?
yeah,
It's an armature, actually. Lighter and, well, better balanced. Much poorer armed and armored.
yeah. See, that sounds like a really fast death trap. So
It is an extraordinarily fast death trap, actually.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
Its plating is better than yours. Probably better than the plating of this ship.
yes, but what type of shields does it have?
Iron bucklers.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, so I'm just gonna say no.
Downsized ion shields. Functions the same way as it does on mine. One facing's covered, and only protects against ranged attacks.
Constantinius. I was joking. You know, I was pulling your leg.
It gets alone something for the one here having a knight, or at least being experienced with one.
You seen me drive the vehicle.
Maybe there is something else we could get at a later date.
Understood. Speaking of which, where is the apparent?
Hey?
The knight, apparent, aspirant.
Oh,
Sir Gabriel.
the posh
Gabriel is
idiot.
in a state
I don't know.
Last time I saw him...
Run me again. One more time. I must have misheard you.
Last time I saw him, he was wrong with Dustin on the bridge. Which reminds me, I should also congratulate him.
Yeah, the posh idiot left here a while ago with a rather sort of petulant look on his face, as though someone had stumped his favorite toy. I don't know where he went, but not here, so that's a bonus.
May I inquire as to why you're speaking ill of a nobleman?
Because I really dislike him.
Did you talk to him?
This has been a trend here. Duskin is very mean. What's been going on with you, Duskin?
Dark,
Do you not get
dark.
shot at enough?
Have you been bullying my knight aspirant? My squire?
No, I've been trying to show him the way that we do things round here, where we have each other's backs, where we, treat each other as equals, and yeah, apparently he's not so much for the equal thing.
This is interesting.
Where did you say he was again? The bridge?
Nope. Know where he went.
Just
Try his chamber.
Yeah, just try around the personal chambers. I'm certain that if you don't meet him, you'll either meet one of his servants.
Who could direct me, of course.
Give him my regards.
This, I'm actually going to go point to point to Constantinius and say, listen, I don't like the guy. He's a pompous idiot. But we're all equals here. He has to actually treat us as equals, or else he is going to get left behind at some stage.
Those words reek of treachery, friend.
Those words reek of reality. We're both men of the world. Mistakes can be made. I don't want to do. I don't. It's point between me and Constantinius. I don't want to even think that. But if it comes down to saving the group or leaving him behind, no. Understand what I'm saying?
I understand precisely.
I do not want to get into that kind of situation.
I see. I'll speak with him then.
That's all in the matter, and we'll see where the chips fly.
Okay. I'll get back to you with the outcome of the conversation.
Please do. Should he have the free time, I would also like to personally congratulate him, but at a later date. I will talk a bit with Dustin and talk, and then visit our guest. Make sure he's comfortable.
Okay.
As soon as Constantinius leaves and the door shuts behind him, Doc will look to Duskin and say, "You know, you do give some of the newer members to our cohort a hard time, but do you really think this one's that bad?"
I think if he can get over himself, no. So if he can get over himself and treat everyone as equals, no, I don't. Admittedly, I will probably suggest that he probably has an issue with me. If it's only me, then that's fine. But
Well, I wouldn't see why he'd have an issue with you. None of the rest of us really do.
I have actually been pushing his buttons to see how far he can be pushed. As a nobleman, you know how these people are.
Yeah, I know. You just want to see what his caliber is. I understand. How do y'all think about how he performed when we were fighting back in the hangar?
I would say it's exemplary. He fulfilled his duties, did exactly as ordered to.
Yeah, his exit and meetup was pretty good.
Switching off the micro bead so that we're just actually talking to each other. His actually shooting was really good. His exfiltration was good. It was smart. It was timely. I maybe hoped that he could have stayed for a wee bit longer, but right. And yeah, it was all good.
Dustin, he barely has a experimental flat armor, and those areas that is quite commonly known to, well, not work.
Well, I have no qualms with his combat experience or his combat effectiveness.
Besides, Doc, in regards of drilling the fresh meat of our group, weren't you the one that tackled me? Yeah, weren't you the one that tackled most of us to that ground first time you met us? At least I can speak for myself.
And what do you call it? Dustin will actually roll up his sleeve to show 2 scars.
Okay. Maybe I've matured as a person since then.
We're all thankful for that, as he gives you 2 taps on the shoulder.
So, this prisoner. Is he the top?
Yes.
Is he the top guy for the Cloud Boys, or is he one of the lower ranked people?
The way they came, the rows after him, I generally guess that he's someone of quite high enough import. But that does not matter to me. He's the one who had a hand in our Inquisitor's death. That's what should be of importance.
Yes, but they were equipped with force fields.
And noblemans are known to carry them.
Yes, and melta guns. They did not come with a light armament. They even had a damn autocannon.
Autocannons, even personal ones, are easily acquired. You should know this, as you have dabbled in a bit of commerce yourself. Meltarons, I agree, they are quite rare, but for a fallen noble houses, as well as a highly commercially prosperous sector, you'd be surprised how easily acquired these things are. Once you have wealth and means of purchasing.
Well, they
Yes, that
definitely
is
have
true.
wealth and they definitely have meat.
Let's
What
hope
do y'all
that
really? What do y'all really think about the armature, though? I don't really see a use for it if we have to give it back.
it's just another tool for the Emperor's work and our
Yeah,
Inquisitors.
that is true. Do y'all think Constantinius could pilot it so we could not have to get someone new, or does one
Mm,
of us have to
the-
train?
Doubtful Constantinus would lower himself. From what I remember, talking with him, they're usually lesser nobles that pilot them. The rites required to undertake one are, well, non-existent. A person that would pilot a sentinel would have, well, 50% of the necessary training to pilot an harbinger. Surprisingly, though, you require the same amount of training for when piloting aircrafts, high Gs, sustaining high Gs. So the saying about how fast they are may not
Hmm.
just be boasting.
Okay. What about Sir Gabriel?
Certain
You would
stuff.
He
know
would
that he has
lower
his own light.
himself.
I would say, do you really think a person like him wouldn't have a knight?
No, I know he does, but we can't take them everywhere. And when we do take them, that's not something we can just do. These, well, this is an imperial world, but
Yeah.
I think we might have some big problems if we just started, you know.
This comes from a man whose first reactions a few years ago would be to just exterminate us a planet for only having a heretical cult.
Hmm.
I must say, Doc, you continue to impress me. I feel that something has rubbed off me and onto you.
Apart from charge an Indian army of Clyde boys and,
Would you say it's sanity? As Doc chuckles.
at which point then what he called I'll hand over the bottle of Amarsak. It suddenly appeared from absolutely nowhere. Didn't see him pick it up, but suddenly it's just there.
You really know how to stash alcohol, don't you?
Well, yeah, learn these things.
Hmm. And Doc will take a quick swig before passing it to Stefan.
No, no thanks. He passes to Dustin. I wish to be in possession of all of my faculties.
Well, I know Sir Gabriel wanted to see that shimmering pearl and see what its worth is. And so Doc will go into one of the cabinets nearby and pull out the shimmering pearl and hand it to you, Stefan, to appraise. Morton described it as a very beautiful shimmering pearl.
It's a very interesting trinket, that's for sure. As for a tactical value, not anything that would be useful. Although in trade, it could be quite fruitful, whatever you may pursue. As he hands it back.
Well, I plan to hopefully trade it to Sir Gabriel for one of his master crafted servitors. And then I will be able to add one more companion to my small little group.
I pray that the deal goes through.
So do I. So this prisoner, what do we know about
Well,
him?
Oh,
I'm
if
willing to spend
Just
some time with him to see.
yeah, but is there anything in the databases?
it will tell us all of its history. Don't worry, as soon as it comes to. I've asked Ripsaw to make sure he's alive. Even now, I have my eye on him.
Give me 10 hours and you will know what he called whether or not he likes men, women, where he's been in his life, his favorite food, his favorite color.
I do appreciate your offer, but this one is a bit personal. If you'd allow me, I'd like to take the lead on this one.
Yeah, we need a lot of information out of him. There's a lot of questions that we need answered.
Oh, fear not. It's a long way to House
Well,
Maimon.
once you get the information, I can always see if there's anything more that spills out.
Well, another way, I'd rather not have him die until we reach Inquisitorial Cruiser. I would like to parade his corpse through the entire ship.
His body, live body, you mean?
Oh no. I fully expect every and single acolyte and crew member of that ship to get their pound of flesh from this creature. And if they don't, well, we might require more hands on the
That's
ship.
whilst alive, obviously.
Of course.
Okay, well, I will assist if that is okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear what he has to say.
Do not worry. A servo stall equipped with an auto quill will both record both in text, and the aspects one will record a video for your enjoyment.
Nice.
Are you saying that we're not allowed in the actual interrogation itself?
Oh, of course you are. It's just, in case you're too busy doing something else, which I really hope you're not.
I can assure you I will make time.
But enough about it.
Did.
Dutch, did you have something else on mind?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go talk to Sir Gabriel. I'm gonna see if he'll trade for this pearl.
Please go ahead, but do not disturb him while Constantinius is there. Wait for them to finish their talk.
I will. I'll be sure to.
This doesn't mean you're not allowed to eavesdrop, as I'm certain that even if I told you not to, well, you're in the Inquisition for a reason.
Of course.
Although by now they should most likely be done. Dashrin, for you, I have something more to say.
Hmm.
Now, please. Doc, as he steps to the side to let you through.
Yeah, Doc proceeds out.
There's a few moments of silence as Stefan seems to toy with his thumbs, running circles between each other.
I shall close the door.
He will wait until you sit back, facing him resting upon a surgery table. Elongated chair sitting in front of him for you to sit.
Hmm.
You remember when we first set sail, Blood McQueen?
Yes.
We had a conversation. You took offense to an analysis of our relationship. My analysis, per se.
Wouldn't have thought so, but okay.
You, at some point, identified our relationship as friends. Something greater than what we are, what people would presume we are. And I corrected you that we are no more than comrades in arms.
Hmm.
I wish you to understand that this is not something I've done with ill intent. Do not know that I have not noticed you always standing 5 meters around me, as I'm well aware with bodyguard training, as I've always well undertook it. I know that I'm not concerned with my well-being when in a high-stakes situation, but with yours. The reason I refuse to identify myself as your friend, or anything close, is that, of course, as you can imagine, I have a lot of friends, and that comes with, well, its fair share of burdens in forms of enemies.
Stefan, you're my superior officer. I count you as a friend when duties of the Inquisition are not involved. You ask me to do something or to achieve something, then you're doing that as my superior officer. And yes, I don't know what more to say. I do count you as a friend, and I also have a responsibility to make sure that you stay alive.
But you allow me to experience something more, then you may feel free to see me as whatever you wish to. When we attacked the Cloud Boys today, I have heard all of the reports about their position, their armaments, their weaponry. Do you know what plan I came up with in order to counteract them? Of course, I came up with nothing. I had full faith that our cause is just and that we will supersede whatever troubles we may face in order to reach our objective.
Hmm?
I did not hesitate when commanding all of you to charge into what is, without any mockery, certain death, even for my standards. And I wish you to know, Dustin, that even though I find you to be someone close to me, if I had to choose between bringing our Inquisitor's killer and your life, I would pick the culprit without any hesitation and not look back at you.
Okay, and at this, what do you call it, you can actually see Duskin's face is looking rather confused and, well, yeah.
Therefore, I shall ask you a simple question. Can you consider a man that cares so little about your well-being to be your friend?
Depends what you mean.
I said,
You're to compartmentalize things, as in, and you'll look about the room, what do you call it, look at the microbead to make sure that it's off, and say, things that you helped me with, and yes, I would consider you a friend. In regards to the role of the Inquisition, that is a different thing. The mission comes first. Now, that's not to say that, what do you call it, I'm going to arbitrarily leave people behind. I'm going to do everything I can to actually sort of keep them alive, because, again, it benefits me, benefits the Inquisition, and because I have ties to these people. So, don't quite understand where you're coming from. I mean, Doc is a psycho, but I still consider him a friend. Perhaps our language is slightly different when translated into, you know, into basic.
let's not dwell on this subject any further. I have enough to make an assessment of you. You are a really excellent acolyte. An envy for all Inquisitors that do not have you. And, well, let's just say Doc is not the only one not fully in possession of one's faculties regarding his choice of companions.
Count anyone who has my back a friend. And anyone who has my back, I have their back. Ever, I owe you a special favor, shall we say, what you've done.
Let's not worry about that. And I feel quite in the mood for drinking. Let's see how fast this bottle empties.
God. At which point then you'll actually see another bottle appear and just go, well, is this one as well?
And I presume we spend the rest of our time figuring how many empty bottles we may produce. At least until Stefan gets an alert from a servo scout.
And Askellon will look at the small sort of amasec glasses that they actually have and go, nope, them off to the side and bring out the tumblers and go, dub, 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 dub. Okay, so blink, just start drinking.
Stefan will try to keep pace with you, but I doubt he will. He will more kiss that less than anything else. Anyway, that's our scene.
It's us.
So the rest, feel free to go wild.
Yeah, Constantinius, Sir Gabriel, I can have y'all's convo. Go ahead.
Almost passed out. That took so long anyway. I'm kidding. That's really good.
Okay, dude.
All
As
right.
you knock
Go on.
on a door, outer will open. You can see that all the curtains inside the room are drawn. There is a holocaster of the most exquisite design. As you approach the room itself, you can hear sounds and applause and music, fanfare, and stuff like that. You can see a holocaster casting an image of a triumphal parade for an older man with a lot of medals and a lot of people surrounding him. Gives the Gabriel a shiny metal crown, and you can see it is exactly the same crown that he wears almost every day. It looks like a celebration parade of with the great military honors. You can see Gabriel looking at it for a moment, lost to the memory, and he notices you. He stops the Holocasters and approaches the door. Brother Knight, I was worried about you. You shouldn't risk yourself like that. Please take a seat. He'll approach and take you by the shoulder and lead you to the cushion here.
Constantine will follow and sit down.
May I ask what you were watching?
Oh, this is the celebration of the Thesaurus 6 Liberation Parade. I was a part of the parade. From the picture, you can see that he is basically a kingpin of the whole celebration ceremony. This is here War Master Tobias Landa. And that was a few years ago. 83rd Crusade. One of my fondest memories.
I've served on many a crusade. I know how the honors are. They're quite nice. How many have you been on?
Single Crusade. I'm not as old as some of you, not as experienced in many regards, though I had excellent tutelage. I have been part of a single crusade for most of my life until some developments, seeing my transfer to the Inquisitor stuff. But enough about the past. Let's talk about present.
Yes, as you can assume, this isn't exactly a friendly chit-chat.
On the contrary, I was hoping to impart a message here. Your meeting with Dad and giving me some things to think about it. To think about, I was hoping that once we can find the cause of this warp storm, and remove it, I would reacquaint our families and reintroduce your line back into the house Terran proper. What say you?
No.
No. You can see Gabriel is taken aback as if someone slapped him on the face. No.
Do you know the history of my night house?
To an extent, even though I have to confess I wasn't paying too much attention.
Then tell me, what do you know?
Little. For once a part of a house Terran, then you had decided to sway your loyalties to the Machine God and his acolytes. But I do know that once you've been a part of something greater, way greater than what you have right now. Do not take it as an insult. It's just a mere observation of a fact. And it occurred to me that it would have been proper once the contact with the Imperium itself will be re-established to reunite our houses once again.
Constantinius is going to look around for a moment. Is the door shut?
The door is shut, and I can see a hesitation. Ota, leave us at once. The manservant, we're gonna leave the room.
We didn't depart out of some sense of independence. It's shame.
A shame? What are you talking about? Science of Theron
The men most of my lineage, or most of our knights, trace their lineage back to, joined the War Master during the Heresy. Only about half remained loyal.
You can see Gabriel's jaw clench very tight. His hands grip the cushions of the seat. I see
The
now.
reason we have the steed specifically, why it's decorated differently than yours, it's to celebrate a very brave knight.
What was his name?
Theon. He was fairly lowly. He was merely a Quaestorus. During one of the last engagements on the Forge World that we now reside on today, he charged the former Princeps, a Lancer versus a Porphyrion. As you can assume, he did die in this charge. He managed to reach it just barely, his knight detonating, granting him the death blow. Out of the original batch, our house was originally 80 strong. After this, we were 3. We recovered what we could and purified what was redeemable. My knight is one of these such recoveries, Fiebras. It was originally utilized by traitors, scavenged and retooled.
I see now, Constantinius.
It's why our knight's history, or our house's history, is kept in great secret, and we only stick close to the Mechanicum. They don't question or care. Other groups do.
You are quite right about it. Alas, with that hindsight, I have to retrieve my offer of reunion with the House Terran.
I expected as much.
For you to salvage your honor, only the eternal crusade in the name of mankind will help you to expunge the stain on your honor. But with that said, you know that if you shall need me, I will be by your side. I can close my eyes on the failings of the past. We are brothers, are we not?
I was going to discuss that with you. You seem to be making a very poor impression amongst my colleagues.
Speak plainly, Constantinius, and tell me about some names.
Duskin is the first that comes to mind, but you worry all of them.
All of them. I assume that the person who will ask some questions will inflammate the group dynamics? Yes, it is known to me.
May I ask why? I can tell there was likely a confrontation, but what happened?
I had never had an open confrontation with anyone but Duskin, and that, well, he had forgotten his place in the greater scheme of things. He demands some sort of equity. Even though I had never given him an order, he yet still continues to pressure me for some sort of equity. It is beyond my comprehension. His mad ravings about the equality. I find them so insulting. I'm not his superior officer. I'm not giving him commands, and yet he continues to demand some sort of equality. What he thinks himself to be. An emperor incarnate? He said that the emperor was his father. Can you imagine that? The hubris of that statement. It is bloody appalling.
In a spiritual sense, we all claim that.
No,
We all serve him as sons who dutifully serve their father, and he watches over us like a good father.
his son.
Besides the point.
We do not claim descent from the emperor. We claim our service to him, and
We
our
are
service
honorary.
is proven by the years and the sacrifice of our ancestors.
Not to mention, that could be tied to a local religion. They vary from world to world. You would know this of all people.
I stand by the imperial truce, not some sort of mad ravings of a religion.
Repeat that.
I stand by the values and creeds of the imperial truce, not some mad clergy ravings of a religion.
I was saying local clergy can differ slightly between one another.
It is irrelevant. They're all sycophants. We are the knights. We're supposed to be the blade who will enlighten the galaxy as to the real truth, the imperial truth. There are no gods but the emperor. Everything else is just preposterous. You know that as well as I do.
Yes.
Or if you're talking about
I'll
war,
discuss that
don't
in
trust
further
us.
detail with him. Heresy cannot be tolerated in our ranks.
Heresy will definitely not be tolerated here.
Regardless, a few of the words you mentioned struck me. He doesn't seem to feel like an equal to you. He wouldn't harp on it so badly if he had not thought such.
Should I restrain myself from calling him a guardsman? Isn't he an ex-guardsman? There is nothing to be ashamed of that occupation. No, he seeks something greater here. I may tolerate him as my colleague, an acolyte. I will not command him. It is not my right to command him. He is an asset of an acquisition, not of the noble house of Terran, nor the Imperial Guard, nor the Imperial Navy. So yes, he is beyond my purview. What else would he want of me?
If I had not seen your prior interactions, I might believe you.
You shall. You have a word of my honor. I had never given him an order, and that's it. If he thinks that he might haze me because I'm a newcomer to this group, then he's very much mistaken. I will not.
We're supposed to do that, Sir Gabriel.
We are supposed to better. We are an exemplars of the chivalric values.
No. I mean, shit test our acolytes. You seeing how easy your buttons are to push? The enemy will apply that very, very thoroughly. And
The enemy
unlike
shall do
me,
nothing but my wrath.
you still distinctly reek of nobility. You think they aren't going to leverage that?
They may try a few ploys of their own, that is true, but I have a few tricks up my sleeve as well.
I hope you're right, for both of our sakes.
Do not doubt me, brother.
I've served for a long, long time. It has nothing to do with you being disingenuous. Simply you severely underestimating what's ahead. How many promises have been had made for my family? So many have fallen through, I cannot count them. How many promises I'd heard that I'd see my brothers again, my sisters. Only to see the chassis of now hulked, burning vessel remaining on the field. It has nothing to do with your competency. You can't predict everything coming. You cannot afford to leave a weakness unattended.
You're right. Of course you're right. But I will tend to it, and I see that my past will not become burden for us in the future. However, and do hearken me, I will not stand by another insult to my honor or honor of my house, our house in the past, from a mouth of that guardsman.
He is no guardsman, he's an acolyte, same as you. Remember that.
Very
We're
well.
all equals here, like it or not. I'm about as fond of it as you are.
How do you
But
know?
it's not our say, but the say of his holy Inquisition. And remind me again, what was the crime of questioning it again? Ah, yes. Heresy.
Heresy.
Precisely. What the Inquisitor says, goes. In theory, if anyone here leverages rank, it could be me being a more trusted acolyte, or specifically Stefan. He's a legate. If anyone gets to act high and mighty, it's him.
And so he will have my support to an extent. And yet, when I came here, I was instructed that none of you will have a superiority of rank over me. Constantinius?
We treat each other as equals. That's the important part.
Each other as equals. And yet, I repeat myself. He has slighted an honor of our house. Repeatedly. This will not do.
And you have not
Not-
reciprocated the favor once?
He has no house to talk of.
Have you spoken ill of his regiment, or his profession,
No.
his family?
No, I have nothing but a respect for the guardsman. His regiment is unknown to me, and yet I have served with the guard for 10 years. Fought alongside wisdom. Saved many of them. Was saved by them in turn. I think that guardsmen are the true saviors of the Imperium. His regiment is unknown to me. His profession is nothing but noble. About his family, I asked him if he can remember the name of his father. He went quiet and named the Emperor his father. But enough of that, I'm not gonna continue that accusations over and over again. You heard what I have to say. You can talk to him. And then judge the truth yourself.
I see. I'll speak of them in length. What I do say is, if he does attempt to engage you in banter, hold your tongue as best you can, and contact me.
can see Gabriel reclined back in his seat, closing his eyes, taking a sip of the Amasak. I will do my best, and I cannot give you my word. This is beyond me.
An earnest effort is all I can ask of you, friend. I'll leave you be. You have a good night.
And that's when you hear a knock at the door.
Enjoy your rest, Constantides.
You as well.
Enter.
It is I, Doc.
James. What an interesting night tonight. I became popular all of a sudden. Please come in, take a seat.
Doc does so, and as he does, he brings out the shimmering pearl and tosses it to you.
I will catch it in the air, almost dropping it, and yet clamping it with my fingers. Ah, the deal that we have discussed. I will lift the pearl up in the air, stand from my seat and approach the curtain. I will withdraw it, letting some light get inside. We'll put it closer to my magnetic. It will whirl and zoom, trying to judge perfections and imperfections of the orb. It is quite exquisite of a specimen. So, you are interested if I would trade it for Civitar, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, I believe you have yourself a deal. I am quite intrigued by that object here.
Well, I will humbly accept this deal, and I hope you enjoy. We found that in a very dark place.
I will hear all about it later. Please, if you want, you can stay with me and enjoy the music and the Amasak. If not, then we shall call it a night. Once again, I appreciate your services. He'll run my fingers across his face where his scar wounds. And I indeed find you a very capable medici. I hope that in the future I can draw upon your skills amply.
Well, that will be more than likely with the things we will have to do. But I'll bid you a good night. I have to go work on Guardian 011.
The servitor. It was quite efficient.
Oh,
You
yes.
have my compliments in that.
Oh, I thank you. But we'll discuss the servitor on the morrow.
Oh, definitely. A new day holds many opportunities for us to explore.
That it does.
Now, I bid you farewell. James Madison.
As he leaves, he takes a look over his shoulder and says, Sir Gabriel. And the door opens, he goes through, and it shuts behind him.
Gabriel will continue toying with the pearl. Alter, another glass of Amasak, perhaps? The old commissar will enter and pour me another glass. I will recline in my seat and press resume on the hololid to watch the parade and ceremony once again.
A knock at the door would announce someone with that ready for you.
Alter, be a good man and please let them in.
With a hiss, the door opens. Stefan politely bows to your service as he stands before you, straight. He says, "May I take a seat?"
Please be my guest.
He makes himself comfortable in his chair.
As you
He
walk inside, you can see the HoloLens continues playing scenes of some lush world full of pine trees and wild animals under. You can see a few young men running around with the what looks like a sniper rifles, trying to hunt some sort of wild animal in there. The image shivers. It was taken by the silver skull. Your expertise is enough to evaluate that. Take a seat, Stefan. What brings you here?
I just wanted to congratulate you for exemplary practice of your duties. I'm certain that this may have been a lot for you to take in, especially as, with all due respect, I was not aware that you would be as exceptional as in infantry warfare and infiltration as you would be in a knight.
Gabriel will turn his attention from the HoloLens to you. Do you flatter me, Stefan?
No, I merely grant merit where merit is there to be granted.
A slight smile will crease the corners of my mouth. You have the beginnings of a good leader. Leaders should command their troops upon the proper execution of a task at hand. I grant you that. Explore this for yourself, and you will see that a few quiet words here and a few exclamations there before the troops will do wonders for your charges.
Stefan, with a chuckle, says, Yes, yes, I'm aware of that. Your advice is most welcomed.
I wish to talk to you about what happened today on the station. You can hear that the Gabriel's voice is quite exhausted. He's almost spitting the words, not like spitting, drooling them out. He's quite tired at this point of time.
Uh,
I can see that. I can see that your emotions had taken best of you during our engagement on the planetary station.
Stefan
I
would cock her head to the side and, as if not really aware of what you're saying, how so?
You've been reckless in your actions and rush in your demeanor. But please do understand that you have my sympathies. I was not that close to the Inquisitor. In fact, we were barely acquainted with each other. And yet, the group, the others, the Duskin, the Doc, the Constantinius, the others, I look to you as their leader. You had endangered their life there. You've been in the engagement for longer than necessary. What I'm trying to say is, doesn't merely exist to chide you and chastise you upon your actions. I just hope that in the future we can explore other possibilities of dealing with our enemies. What say you, Stefan? He'll take a slow sip from his glass of amber.
Stefan would fall back on the back of the chair, taking in what you've just said, saying, racking your words through his head, uh, trying to come with an appropriate response. He would then lean forward again and say, You have said you've never had the good grace to meet the Inquisitor yourself.
We have met, but it wasn't lasting. Around 3 or 4 years ago, we have met when I was inducted in the orders. He offered me a badge of his office and introduced me to the basic rules. He outlined his expectations of me, and that was about it. He seemed to be a genuine person, interested in his service to His Majesty emperor of mankind and the betterment of the humanity. I can respect that immensely.
You must have. Certainly, you have seemed in process that you haven't really met him.
Yes.
He is something far greater than a mere man. Something divine about him, as if the Emperor himself walks, speaks, and acts through him. I regret that you haven't really had the chance to really experience meeting the true face of our Inquisitor.
Would it be fair to say that Gabriel can see the fires of zealotry in your tone and your eyes?
No, it's pure fanaticism more than zealotry.
I can see. Your faith in your master is quite remarkable, and yet I wish to impart on you a bit of wisdom that was passed on me by my father and his father before him. Do not
Please.
succumb to idols. Do not erect any idols for yourself, save for the Emperor of mankind. If you wish to be a leader that will guide mankind to its salvation against the enemies that surround us, Xenos, a heretic, and a demon, you should look to yourself as a prime conduit of a will, of the Emperor's will. We do not rely on other people to show us the way. We are the way. We may disagree and we may make mistakes, but we do not become enamored by other. This is a difficult lesson of nobility. You might not be a noble, high noble at least, but you have to understand it. There shall be no power that should hold its sway upon you. Excise all the outside influence, let the pure logic and determination guide you.
You millennia, if not thousands, upon thousands of life's worth of experience behind them. Yet, these words are of a line who has not seen, not felt what is really to be in the presence. Something much, much greater than themselves.
I
You,
see.
you speak with wisdom, yet I am afraid that you yourself have not been able to comprehend the real greatness of what you think I speak of. I've seen ecclesiarchs storm themselves in the most beautiful of robes, in the most amazing of Gothic architecture, and churches dedicated to the majesty of the Emperor. Yet, under scrutiny, they were nothing but false prophet in empty boxes. I do not surround myself with titles. I have no use of them. I care not for pride. It's unbecoming of me and would only slow me down. but I've experienced something that I am afraid that you may never comprehend in your lifetime or in your bloodline's lifetime. To be part of a greater plan, greater than yourself, greater than the Imperium itself, working directly underneath the hand of the Emperor. It's something I also desperately wish to share with others, share with you, yet I'm afraid I'm unable to. You have your clemencies with how I've acted. I understand it was risky, but should you have known what I've known, felt what I felt, you would have understood, like all the others, that there was no other way.
I can see that the tides of loyalty drag upon you heavily, and yet there are a few things that I wish to tell you. First, the Imperium itself is the greatest manifestation of the will of the Emperor. Know it well, guard it well. These are the tenets of all noble houses. Second, during Horus' Heresy, many Astartes and common people alike were so enamored with the Horus that even when he spoke of the open treasury, they still joined him because they felt that he was greater than life himself. This is the folly of following the other's lead and never judging for yourself.
Surely you wouldn't lower yourself as such as to compare our Inquisitor with the Arch-Betrayer.
No one is excused for my doubt. I shall be a judge of every word and of every action taken in my presence and taken in the name of the Imperium itself. If I find those actions, if I find that these actions will contradict the well-being of the Imperium itself, I will strive to counteract them with all my might and with all my resources. Doubt everything, trust no one but in the Emperor. Nothing is holy for our enemies.
Stefan is almost, you can see a tear falling from the non-covered eye with the eye patch coming from Stefan, and he says, "Indeed, our Inquisitor would have loved to meet you."
And I would love to meet him. Despite all I said about him, he sounded like an... You made him sound like an incredible person, and I have no doubt about that. He would have been a source of knowledge that I would have been... that I could have used in bettering myself, so I can serve the Imperium better. He was an incredible asset to the Imperium of mankind, and he would have made for a wonderful mentor. It shames me, it pains me that he cannot stand here now and be a judge of our discussion.
Superficial examination, you are correct. He was an invaluable well of knowledge, experiencing a man that has experienced the Imperium and its people in the forest. But what you would learn from him the most, what you would admire about him, eventually you would realize that out of all of us, out of everyone you've met, he was human. He was everything the Imperium is meant to be.
Human, you say? Yes, I value it in people a lot. Being human is all the Emperor ever wanted for us. I feel like we shall explore this topic later.
Indeed. Well, I'm certain that you grow tired from all of the exhaustion we had faced.
I'm weary, but you're still free to remain here and enjoy the quiet and solitude of this room. Depart whenever you wish to. Otto will show you out whenever you find it to be expedient for you. Gabriel will resume watching the holocaster. The scenes of her hunt will continue.
Oh, do not worry yourself. I would dare not take more of your time, as I'm certain you're a busy man. As Stefan makes his way towards the door, he then turns around and says, and you'd be surprised moving forward how very few people can attest to being human.
I fully agree with you on that. I find that as we battle against the tides of fate, we lose our humanity and become just like the monsters that we are meant to face. But it takes a monster to slay a monster, so I will recline myself in a seat with a sign.
Stefan would, if you'd look towards him, he would have an impossibly large grin as you said the last words, as if you said something you have waited a long time to hear, but a sadness as if it did not come from the person he awaited these words to come from. With a
Gabriel
bow,
will regard you for a moment. Be well, acolyte Stefan. Let the night bring you rest.
with a polite bow, he raises his head and says, "There is little rest for the wicked," as he would make his leave.
So, as you're sort of walking past, have we gone to warp or anything like that?
Just Starfaring when through the water.
Oh, still real
Yeah,
space?
you know, the ship is not work capable, don't worry.
Right, okay. Well, you'll just walk past Dusk and just, walking the beat. I'll just give, what do you call it, Stefan a heads up. Just walk on past.
Astrid, when you have the time,
Mm-hmm.
do
Stop.
apologize to the nobleman. I'm not telling you not to continue your, well, being yourself, but try apologizing more often.
Bye. sir.
Or,
With the sir, you'll see a grin.
oh, and I do insist, don't stop being yourself. I have taken a liking to him. Test him, press his buttons.
And what I call Duskin will actually shoulder the rifle, las gun, and walk up and say, literally all I've been doing is pushing his buttons, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he's not responded well.
Wow.
And pride there before a fall.
Then continue your assault. Deaden his sense of pride.
I don't know whether or not I can do that myself.
Don't worry, he's an intelligent man. I can guarantee you that. He will realize.
Cares not what I think. He doesn't, but I am concerned that. But pride that he has in his house and everything else can be used against him. Must realize that he is nothing and go from there, as Ock did to me.
Oh, it will. However, I wouldn't say Doc should be yours.
No, I'm not saying that, but he has to let go of his past, realize where he is. But if you want me to go apologize to him, I certainly will.
Yes.
Leave him alone.
Oh no, I did not tell you to do that. Just apologize to him for the moment. He will adapt. Don't worry about this, Duster. The
So what
jealousy and
what am I apologizing for?
For being too forward and, well, as he can imagine what you said, being yourself. Too blunt.
So right. Okay,
May I interject?
Oh, Constantinus,
Jesus
please.
Christ, where the hell did you come from?
Don't worry about it.
Please, feel
If you're
free.
willing, if you're looking to make his pride, I certainly wouldn't say with the task. Though I've done it before with a few of our aspirants. It is extraordinarily cruel.
Stefan.
Beat him repeatedly in combat. Again and again and again and again. Show him that the one thing he values, his martial prowess, is nothing.
Stefan thinks.
Which I would
for
be
a second.
quite happy to do, but the weapons I use are lethal.
I was going to propose melee combat. Even though he's an arbalaster, it is expected that they can at least somewhat defend themselves. After all, the feet of the knight are quite hefty.
I cannot fight in melee at all. I tried.
Why would you be meddling in knight affairs? This is more something we do with ourselves. We jockey for power and dominance constantly. It's a very,
Sorry.
very competitive thing, our ranks.
Sorry, I believed you meant me beat him in combat.
That would be even better.
That's not gonna happen.
You
Unless
might be
I
able to outshoot him. A few shooting competitions, beat him quite a few times. Add a little snide jest here and there. Have me on his ass to get on him if he ever gets a little bit angry, and then... Oh, it feels just like when I was young again.
Why do I get a feeling that you just want to relive your youth through me? If it all goes wrong, it's my fault.
Precisely.
Gentlemen, I see your point of view, and I would not dare to test how knights train each other. However, Dustin, please assist Constantinus in bringing our new compatriot to the fold, our new comrade to the fold. However,
Also, I was going to say something noted that needs to be noted. I recommend you keep a close eye on him during this process. I'm not used to having to relent for the sake of mission duties. So, depending on how hard we're beating him down, it may severely affect his performance.
I would rather hope you could sway him to be more amicable with the rest of us without wounding his pride too much. But I do not dare lecture you on how night affairs are.
Well, there is a way to do that, but how would I phrase it? It's difficult.
Well, we have had our share of impossible missions, Constantinus. How more difficult
Yes.
can it be?
If you want to do that naturally, you could quite honestly just let him see more encounters like what we just survived. It's how I've come to learn to respect all of you. You're very skilled fighters and excellent acolytes.
I think.
So, essentially, give it time.
I
I
agree.
don't know if that's a luxury we can afford.
Well, this galaxy has a lot of luxuries that it promises, yet we see none of it. And is a mission, a hook on a case that never existed.
Centinius, if I was to apologize for slandering his honor, which, to be honest, wasn't his honor, it was the honor of his house, which he actually hasn't actually gained himself, but...
Did you speak poorly of the house?
No, himself.
Oh.
He said, and I quote, that he speaks great of the honor of his house, is yet to speak of his deeds.
Remind him he's an arbalaster at heart. He is considered cowardly by the standard of knights, weak, improper. What would be the right term? Shameful. We understand it's a needed role, and we don't like poking fun at them. But this role they understand.
Mm-hmm.
Rub that in if you feel necessary, though don't be surprised if he gets rather angry.
Night House's politics, I'd rather deal with tech priests all over again, honestly.
I know.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Tech priests make good conversation, actually. Besides the point.
I shall think upon it and see if I can smooth things over with him. Increase the efficiency of our team.
Yeah, I would say egging him on would be certainly wounding in the short term, and would need a very delicate hand to guide correctly.
Yes, I don't want to hit it with a melted gun in the head. Imagine that would go down very badly with all sides.
Oh, yes, that was another point you remember us mentioning. Remind me again about that comment, about something about you saying you're the son of the Emperor.
We're not all sons of the Emperor.
No, that is the Primarchs. Exclusively.
Well, actually, incorrectly, because the Emperor is the god of humanity. We are all descended from the Emperor. Henceforth, the Emperor is all our quote-unquote father.
What regiment are you from?
The 201st Salamas.
Never heard of them. Sounds weirdly like a progenitor cult.
Sorry?
A progenitor cult. I've seen them from time to time again. More commonly on tribal worlds. Usually if they have some encounter with an imperial hero, they'll quickly claim he's a deity and then claim descendancy. Sounds like yours is something similar that's been repurposed. I guess I'd say acclimated.
No, we have a large storm contingent in the main city, but we have one main city. Most of the planet is basically plain. As they come, they scoop us up. We're taken to the Imperial Guard and all told that we're sons of the Emperor.
So that's something the Imperial officers tell you.
He
Strange,
wa-
haven't heard that before, at least
He
from
wasn't-
someone civilized.
He watches over us. Well, we're not a hive city. We are a frontier world.
Ah, that makes sense.
A
No
frontier
offense.
world, and offense taken. A frontier world that it's yeah.
That's weird. When inspecting your documentation, Bastion, your homework was classified as feral in nature.
Oh, do we have a savage? Oh, you definitely need to bring that up if you beat him. You have to.
Sometimes I
Thank
think
you very much.
you people are
Stefan?
very evil.
I really appreciate you bringing that up, and you know,
Oh, there is no shame.
is there not?
Hardly any, actually. You can argue you were given a distinct disadvantage, yet rose up the ranks to where most could never even dream of reaching. That's rather impressive, no?
Indeed.
Mhm.
So take pride from what you've done, Bastion.
Sorry, I've got to go. 2 seconds.
Where you say Ted is made for a direct conversation. Considering
Yes.
it.
Treasure
Perhaps
troves of information and knowledge. You can ask them almost any question, and they'll usually be able to give you a half-decent answer. Very nice.
perhaps in the future I may have a Ted priest as an assistant.
We have some agricorp.
That yeah, but he's
No, I
not
know,
an
no, I know that, but he's making a joke to something else anyway.
I'm also making a joke to something else, but don't worry. the common front in him.
Regardless, I was going to ask you something, if it would be appropriate.
There is nothing I would hide from you, Constantinos.
How
Please.
did you gain your background within Minotaur?
Yeah. Well, I'm something of an orator. I have dealt with a plethora of cases. I speak on behalf of rogue traders, of trader fleets, of the ecclesiarchy, the mechanitrus, whoever would seek my services in helps of clearing their case before the administratum and the judiciary judges. I have assisted a plethora of crusading fleets that would take, well, a small break in their conquest, or would launch themselves from my home world. It is a holy world, the world of a saint that is most active, for better
May I
or worse.
inquire as to the saint?
He is unknown. He is only known as the Three Saint, for a lack of a better word. The Evergreen, the one who shall make us suffer for our temptations. Nobody knows